What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The California governor just signed a major bill that may affect everybody here going forward. I want to know your thoughts here, as he may be running for president in 2024, as recent polling here shows that majorities in new polling shows that both current President Biden and former President Donald Trump, based on what people are saying, both of them should not run again in 2024. You let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but based on what actual people are saying, a lot of people don't want either of them to run again. So a lot of other people are emerging, like the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, and the California governor, Gavin Newsom. Here is what the California governor just signed a bill into law. And imagine if this happens for the whole country. Let me know your thoughts on this. You think this is a good thing? Here we go.
Well, it's well known that nearly every industry is held to account when their products cause harm or injury. Well, except one, the gun industry. The gun lobby, well, it spent millions and millions of dollars buying off politicians to shield themselves from any liability. Today, California is going to change that. They can no longer hide from the mass destruction that they have caused. I'll be signing a bill that will allow Californians to sue irresponsible gun manufacturers and distributors. If you've been hurt or a family member is a victim of gun violence, you can now go to court and hold the makers of these deadly weapons accountable. Our kids, families, and communities deserve to live without the worry of gun violence. And with Assemblymember Ting's bill, gun makers will finally be held to account for their role in this crisis.
Yeah, so as you can see here, California Governor Gavin Newsom signs a law allowing gun violence victims to sue firearm manufacturers for damage. He says every other major industry is held accountable for their actions except the firearm industry. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Here's the details. Yeah, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law here yesterday that clears the path for gun violence victims to file civil suits against the companies that manufacture the firearms used in crimes. The move effectively tightens gun laws in California, which is the fifth largest economy in the world, which has the strictest gun safety measures in the nation, according to the Giffords Law Center. We'll get to some statistics here on that here in a second. You can let me know your thoughts on that. To the victims of gun violence and their families, California stands with you. The gun industry can no longer hide from the devastating harm their products cause, Newsom said in a release. A 2005, which is a pretty recent law, protects gun manufacturers and dealers from lawsuits when the weapons they produce are used to commit crimes. And you got to think that's a very recent law. Let me know your thoughts here on this. This new California Assembly Bill 1594 utilizes an exemption to the federal statute that allows gun makers or sellers to be sued for violations of state laws concerning the sale or marketing of firearms, according to the California News release. Quote, our kids, families, and communities deserve streets free of gun violence, and gun makers must be held accountable for their role in this crisis. Nearly every industry is held liable when people are hurt or killed by their products. Guns should be no different, the governor said. The state has also allocated $156 million in gun violence prevention grants to support nearly 80 cities and nonprofit organizations and implement an anti-violence programs tailored to their local communities. So let me know your thoughts here. Do you agree with this? Do you think the gun manufacturers should be accountable for something like this here? Well, this is now law in California. We'll have to see if this is challenged. This is something that maybe could go to the Supreme Court. We'll have to see if that happens. You know, we've seen the law that New York passed here recently went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court overturned it. The New York governor, Hochul, said, New York does not back down, and New York is not the type of people that will back down, and we're going to continue to fight. So we have seen a lot of states that are trying to protect their citizens, and um, the Supreme Court said, "You're." I don't even want to. How do you even comment on that? The Supreme Court said, no, you can't pass that type of gun safety law. Yeah, it's a tough day and age right now because we're dealing with all these mass shootings right now. The Uvalde tape just came out. I just did a video on that. I'll link you to that at the end of this video. You can see part of the footage where the police officers waited in the hallway for 77 minutes while the shooting went on inside the school. And they continued to hear the shooting, and the police officer just waited there. It was really a sad, sad, sad moment. Now, California has based on some statistics, the strictest gun laws in the country. So do you think that has any effect? Well, according to statistics, California has the 7th lowest per capita firearm mortality rate in the country. So you can let me know your thoughts here on if you think that is a coincidence or not. 7th lowest death rate. Now, you might be saying, well, this could just be a coincidence. So here's some more data. Let me know your thoughts here on this. Other states with strict gun laws include Illinois, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Hawaii, Maryland, and Massachusetts. So let's look up their statistics here. Well, again, as you can see here, Hawaii ranks #1 in the country with their death rate. Massachusetts is #2. New Jersey is #3. New York is #5, and Connecticut is #6. California being #7. So again, those are 6 out of the top 7 with the strictest gun laws. Do you think that's a coincidence? So just for fun, let's go and look at the states with the loosest gun laws. Let's see if there's a coincidence there as well. Now let's look at some of the states with the most lenient gun laws in the country, particularly Mississippi, Louisiana, Wyoming, Missouri, Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky. And let's look at their mortality death rates based on how they fall in the country. Wouldn't you know that they are among the worst firearm mortality rates in the country? Mississippi has the worst death rate in the country with firearms. Louisiana, second worst. Wyoming, third worst. Mississippi, fourth. Alabama, fifth. Alaska, sixth. So you could just see here, you let me know if this is a coincidence or not, but 6 out of the top 7 states that had stricter gun laws were in the top states that had the lowest death rate, mortality rates from gun shootings. Yet the states with the loosest gun laws have the absolute worst death rates. I don't think that's a coincidence. You tell me, though. Yeah, so this is one major problem plaguing our society right now. Another one is inflation. And yeah, here's yet another problem. Check this out.
Well, grocery prices were up 12% in June. That is the largest yearly jump since Pink Floyd released the Wall album back in 1979. And it's not that it's just more expensive to grow and make food products, it's also more expensive to transport them. And given margins are so thin at grocery stores, much of those costs have to be passed on. One grocer warns it still will get worse.
There have been waves of increases. There's another one going on right now. And I hear the prices that we ourselves have to charge for things, and I'm stunned by them. I'm shocked by them. I'm angered by them.
Butter, chicken soared in June, all up double digits. Eggs were up 33%, according to data from Bankrate. Your morning cup of Joe up almost 16%. You want some sugar? That's up 11% year over year. On top of higher costs, grocers are noticing a new trend among suppliers.
What they're doing now is putting a surcharge on the bottom of the bill. In other words, if the bill coming to a store was $10,000, they're adding maybe 2% to the bottom of the bill, said $200 surcharge for fuel.
It's not just grocers. E-commerce retailers like Walmart and Amazon are also adding fuel surcharges for third-party sellers. Fuel costs they're inevitably making their way down the supply chain. So even if you don't drive, you're getting hit by higher prices, making the impact of higher fuel costs nearly impossible to avoid.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here on this. Are you feeling it at the grocery store? It continues to go up. We're feeling it everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah, and we also could be feeling it even more so in interest rates and credit card interest rates and mortgage interest rates, as the Fed says that the Fed could weigh a historic 100 basis point hike after inflation scorcher. The new inflation rate just came out at 9.1%. They could do a 100 basis point hike, which is a quadruple interest rate hike of 425 basis points. And the Bank of Canada, or the country of Canada, Bank of Canada and the country of Canada, just did this. So Canada just did a 100 basis point, which is a full percent, a 1.0% interest rate hike. Canada just did this. So remember, inflation is all around the world, guys. It's happening everywhere. Canada just did a 100 basis point hike. The U.S. just did a 75 basis point hike, which is 0.75% last month. And now the Fed is saying we might have to do a 0.75 or a full 1% interest rate hike again this month to try to help curb inflation. And this just hurts people even more. But this is what they have to do to try to bring down inflation. Wow. It's crazy. And actually, you can kind of see here from the inflation chart here, this is kind of what I've talked about here. We can see here down in 2020 and even parts of 2021 that from the recession, some parts of inflation did go negative. So if you can see here on the screen, I'll see if I can make this even a little bigger here. You can see here parts of inflation did go negative, particularly energy, which is gas. Inflation went negative, and we know that gas plummeted in 2020 when the country, quote, shut down. Parts of goods went negative here as well. And this is, sometimes you see that during the recessionary cycle, and then it tends to catch up when you come out of the recession. We're seeing inflation all around the world here, and it's brutal right now. So we had the negative inflation there for like a year or so, but now it's really catching up. I'll tell you what though, if you think you're having a bad day, or if you think we're having a bad day, you may not have had as bad a day as a U.S. tourist here in today's episode of You Can't Make This Stuff Up. A U.S. tourist here actually fell into a volcano and survived. Yeah, a U.S. tourist actually fell into Mount Vesuvius while taking a selfie. I know, you guys, you can't make this stuff up, but apparently this actually happened here. Check this out. Yeah, you could see here a U.S. tourist, 23 years old, fell into Mount Vesuvius crater after taking a selfie and survived. Yeah. So Philip Carroll on Saturday dropped his phone into the volcano crater, which he went off a path that he wasn't even supposed to, by the way. We'll get to that here in a second. This crater is of nearly 1,000 feet deep. He didn't quite fall that far, though, and got stuck going after it. Guides used a long rope to pull him to safety. Here's the details. A 23-year-old Maryland man, yeah, I could see the people from Maryland saying, he's just making us all look bad, right? Was rescued over the weekend after falling into the crater of Mount Vesuvius in Italy while taking a selfie. The man, identified as Philip Carroll, anybody know him? Visited the famed volcano notorious for destroying the Roman city of Pompeii and blanking in it with ash in AD 79 AD. The family hiked up Vesuvius from a nearby town and accessed it from the top of the volcano through a forbidden trail. Yeah. And apparently here's the guy's back and arms from when he fell over the volcano. That does not look like a good time. Yikes. Like I said, if you think you're having a bad day, at least you didn't fall into a volcano, right? It's over a forbidden path. The family took another trail that was closed to tourists, and there was a small gate and no access sign. The family reached the top of the 4,000-foot high volcano. He stopped to take a selfie, and his cell phone fell into the crater. So what did he do next? Instead of just calling it a loss, he tried to recover the cell phone and slipped into the crater and fell a few meters inside the crater. You can't make this stuff up, guy. He managed to stop his fall, but at that point he was stuck. He was very lucky. If he kept going, he would have plunged 300 meters into the crater, which is about 1,000 feet. Vesuvius's cone-shaped crater has a depth of 300 meters, or nearly 1,000 feet, and a diameter of nearly 1,500 feet. He suffered scratches and cuts to his arms and back in the fall. Guides from Vesuvius saw what happened with binoculars from the opposite side of the rim and rushed to help him. They used a long rope to help him to safety. He was then taken into custody by the local police. It's not immediately clear what charges he faced. Wow. So after all that, he was taken into custody and probably went to jail. Yeah. So, like I said, after all this, you're probably not having as bad a day as this guy. I know, you can't make this stuff up, guys. But let me know your thoughts here in the comments, and I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to see our newest video next, and you can click here to see my newest stimulus check video that is going out here for multiple states and millions of people. And there's going to be more to come, and I'll keep you up to date here on that here as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.